People assume everyone wants to reach their potential and be the best that they can be. I've concluded that most only want to be average and just do enough to get by. Nick Saban, the coach of Alabama, that is his quote as he's recruited athletes and see what happens on the playing field. And so, how do we keep from failing? How do we keep from being average? We don't want to fail. I'm going to give you 8 steps to prevent failure. Don't be offended by the word that I used or that Nick Saban uses of average. We are suggesting that what you may be average about is when you compare yourself to your potential. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, they have a lot of potential. Usually has a negative connotation to it because we're not reaching where we can be. So follow us, subscribe, hit and like the bell icon. So here we go. 8 steps to reach your potential, or 8 steps not to fail. 8 steps not to be average. So the first one, you've got to have a time budget. Define the total career hours that you're going to work each week, because you can realize that your potential revolves around the use of those hours that are dedicated to your career. Are you getting the most out of them? Are you consistently operating at what is called your highest and best use? Do you even know what your highest and best use of time is? I think a lot of times we think we're busy, but is that the best use of our time? What is that busyness? Good is the enemy of great. The capacity of any role is limited by the amount of time that's invested in that role. Thus, your potential as a realtor is restricted to the number of hours that you or others on your team are willing to dedicate to your business. Since time is limited, our goal should be to get the most out of each hour that we dedicate in our day. We need to maximize our output, and it needs to be around the highest and best use of our time. A lot of times we think money is the key asset in life, but what the key asset in life is time. And Gordon Gekko has the quote, money is not the key asset in life, time is. Time is your only limit in life. It should be viewed as a precious resource and never squandered. And we do have to take time for relaxation and rest, but we're talking about your career time. Time doesn't care whether you spend it or invest it. And to keep from wasting time, we must approach each day with a time budget. When you think of the word invest, it kind of gives an expectation of return. So when you invest your time, you're going to expect a return. So number 2, define the total career hours for the day. You can't control time and you can't control results. The only control is you can manage your activities. So you can control the activities, but you can't your time. Spending time on irrelevant activities has devastating effects. If you waste 1 hour a day times 5 days a week times 48 weeks a year, I'm giving you a month off, that's 240 hours in a year. This research states that we spend 40% of our work time in non-vital activities. What is your highest and best use? Are you wasting time? How are you investing your time? Number 3, identify vital blocks: lead gen, lead conversion, client care, personal development. Those are the 4 things you should be spending your time on. Are you doing that? Are you recording your specific vital activities? You need to get in the right block. Time management is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as time management. You can't manage or control time. Time is what it is. There are 24 hours in a day. There's 168 hours in a week, 730 hours in a month, 8,760 hours in a year. But what can you control? Not the time, but what you can control is the activities that you implement during the time that you've allotted to your career. So we have to use this time that we have as parameters for your time. That is kind of the sphere of things that we have to live in. So all of your time should be blocked into these 4 categories that I've mentioned. Number 1, lead generation. What time are you spending prospecting and marketing, studying it, practicing it? 95% of realtors fail because they don't lead generate. Once we learn to lead generate, we need to do lead conversion, seller meetings, buyer meetings, and then study and practice so we get better at that. Also, client care. The sign to close, the contract to close, all the servicing that goes on with client care and the follow-up. And fourthly, one that we skip a lot is personal development, consulting, training, masterminding, but we've got to block it. You need to improve yourself every day. Eliminate the waste. Number 5, stay engaged for the entire block of time that you block. The goal is to maximize your output by making 100% of your workday vital. Based on your personal and your family time requirements, what does your schedule need to look like? Remember, we don't live to work, You work to live. So if you're going to time block and do these things and put them in there, focus is going to be the key to your success. When you're in the time block, you really need to focus and shut everything out. Number 6, you must have a vital activities checklist. You must know, what are those vital activities I need to do every day? I need to focus on the right activities. Time blocking is worthless unless you implement the right activities. You can time block and still waste your time. Are you doing the right things? Like I said, highest and best use. You need to operate from a vital activities checklist. It's the only way to make sure that you remain focused on just the activities that result in your success. Thus, to ensure the maximum output, you must manage vital activities with these hourly time blocks. Effective time blocking will result in a productive day. At the end of the day, did I win or did I lose? Number 7, make sure that you look at, did I progress at the day's end? You want to reflect, revise, and release and let it go. Then number 8, repeat steps 2 through 7. Study, practice, take action, repeat. The mistake most people make is attempting to manage time and not activities. Finally, a little story for the conclusion. Every day a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the fastest lion or it will become food for the lion. Every morning a lion wakes up. It knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. And it doesn't matter whether you are a lion or you are a gazelle. But when the sun comes up, you better be running. That is the story, how it is. You know, at the end of your day, I think you need to think about, did I win the day? Did I lose the day? Am I glad I did, or do I wish I had? So many times when you do that reflecting on your day, you can look back and think about it. How was my day? So here's to all of us, not being average, reach your potential and use it, and make sure you're doing the highest and best use that you have. See you next time.